Look closely at the balance in your savings account right now. Every single day that money sits there, it is silently being stolen from you. If you are holding a large amount of cash in the bank, believing that you are playing it safe for the future, you are walking directly into the greatest financial trap of this decade. Welcome back. Today, we are not going to talk about simple budgeting or skipping your morning coffee. We are going to look at a terrifying financial pattern that is playing out right in front of our eyes in 2026. If you look at the charts comparing the dot-com crash of 2000, the housing collapse of 2008, and the current market setup, the trajectory is identical. We are standing on the edge of a massive economic shift. But here's the truth that the mainstream media refuses to tell you. A market crash is not the end of the world. A market crash is simply a transfer of wealth. Money does not disappear during a crisis, it simply changes hands. It moves from the uninformed to the educated, from the panicked to the prepared. In this video, we are going to break down exactly what happens before a major financial crisis, why the top 1% are quietly emptying their cash accounts, and the exact step-by-step strategy you must use right now to protect your family and actually build generational wealth when the market drops. Grab a notepad because this might be the most important financial lesson of your life. Let us start by exposing the biggest lie you were taught in school. Cash is king and saving money is the path to wealth. This advice worked in the 1970s, but applying it today is financial suicide. To understand why, you have to understand the difference between fiat currency and true money. The US dollar, the euro, the pound, these are fiat currencies. They are not backed by gold, silver, or anything of tangible value. Their value is dictated by the government and the central banks, like the Federal Reserve. When the government needs more money to pay off massive national debts or fund new programs, they do not go out and work for it. They simply print more of it into existence. Imagine you are playing a game of Monopoly, and suddenly the banker decides to print 1 million new colorful bills and hand them out to their friends. What happens to the value of the money you already have in your hand? It plummets. This is called inflation. Inflation is not prices going up. Inflation is the purchasing power of your money going down because there is too much currency flooding the system. When you leave your money in a traditional bank account earning 1 or 2% interest, but the real cost of living, housing, food, energy is rising by 10 or 15% a year, you are mathematically guaranteeing your own poverty. You are losing purchasing power every single second. The wealthy understand this completely. They view cash not as a store of value, but simply as a medium of exchange. It is a temporary holding zone. Cash is like an ice cube melting in your hand. You must move it into a solid glass before it disappears. So if cash is trash, where's the smart money going as we approach the next major market correction? They are moving into hard assets. Let us look at what the central banks themselves are doing. While they tell the public that the economy is strong and paper money is safe, central banks around the world have been buying physical gold at record-breaking levels. Why? Because gold has survived every empire, every market crash, and every currency collapse for the last 5,000 years. It is sound money. It cannot be printed on a computer screen by a politician, but gold is just one piece of the puzzle. The 1% are moving their capital into income-producing assets and critical infrastructure. They are buying real estate, agricultural land, and high-quality equities that produce cash flow regardless of whether the stock market is red or green. People will always need a roof over their heads, they will always need food, and they will always need energy. When you own the assets that provide these basic human necessities, you become inflation-proof. As the currency loses value, the price of your assets naturally rises to match it. Now let us talk about the anatomy of a crash and why 2026 is flashing massive warning signs. Financial crises do not happen overnight. They follow a strict set of rules. First, there is an era of easy money. Interest rates are kept artificially low by the Federal Reserve. Borrowing money is cheap, so corporations and individuals take on massive debt to buy stocks, houses, and luxury goods. The market goes up and everyone feels like a genius. This is the bubble phase. Then inflation starts to rear its ugly head because of all that easy money. To fight the inflation they created, the central banks are forced to raise interest rates. Suddenly, debt becomes very expensive. Companies start laying off workers because they can no longer afford to borrow money to stay afloat. People lose their jobs, they default on their mortgages, and the panic begins. The stock market starts to bleed. This is exactly what happened in 1929, in 2000, and in 2008. And the exact same indicators, like the inverted yield curve, which is the ultimate predictor of a recession, have been flashing red leading up to this exact moment. But remember the golden rule: panic is for the uninformed. The wealthy do not panic. They execute a pre-planned strategy. And right now, I'm going to give you the exact playbook to use over the next 12 to 24 months. Step number 1, you must redefine your emergency fund. Yes, holding large amounts of cash is bad, but you still need liquidity. You need enough cash to cover 6 months of absolute basic living expenses. This is not investment money. This is your financial shield. If you lose your job during a crash, this shield ensures you do not have to sell your investments at a massive loss just to buy groceries. Step number 2, eliminate high-interest consumer debt immediately. Credit cards and personal loans will destroy you in a high-interest rate environment. Every dollar you pay in 20% credit card interest is a dollar you cannot use to buy discounted assets when the market crashes. Pay it off and cut the chains. Step number 3, begin the transition from a consumer mindset to an owner mindset. Stop buying depreciating liabilities like designer clothes or expensive cars on finance. Start channeling every spare dollar into hard assets. Build a diversified portfolio. Whether that means buying fractional shares of strong, dividend-paying companies, investing in an index fund that tracks the top 500 companies in America, or acquiring physical commodities. You need to own things that print money instead of holding paper that loses value. Step number 4, prepare your dry powder. Dry powder is investment capital that's ready to be deployed at a moment's notice. When the stock market crashes, the average person runs away in terror. The investor looks at a crash and sees the greatest discount sale of the decade. The stock market is the only store in the world where customers run out the door screaming when everything goes on a 50% off sale. When the crash hits and there is blood in the streets, that is when you deploy your dry powder to buy premium assets at rock bottom prices. And finally, step number 5, invest heavily in your own financial education and high-income skills. The government cannot tax the knowledge in your brain, and inflation cannot devalue your ability to solve complex problems. Whether it is learning digital marketing, artificial intelligence, sales, or understanding tax strategies, your personal skills are your most robust defense against economic chaos. The storm is coming. The only question is whether you will be swept away by it or if you will use the wind to power your sails. The transition from the middle class to the wealthy class requires courage, discipline, and education. You have the knowledge now. The execution is entirely up to you. Before we wrap up, I have a very important question for you, and I want you to be totally honest. What is your current strategy? Are you still holding most of your net worth in cash, or have you already started moving your money into hard assets? Let me know your exact game plan in the comments below. I read and reply to them all. If this deep dive masterclass opened your eyes and gave you a real strategy for the future, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs to wake up and protect their family's wealth. Stay disciplined and stay focused. I will see you in the next video.